Joining us right now is a lady that has a ton of experience down south and now the assistant coach of York University, also with Vaughan Azzurri, L1 Women's Cup winner, Olivia Lukasewich. First and foremost, Olivia, did I butcher your last name or did I get it pretty good?
You got it pretty well.
Very good. Not bad for a Canadian Italian with a little bit of an accent myself. Well, welcome to Red Card, Olivia. Great to have you on board. Let's talk about that game against Woodbridge. And it was a physical battle from the start to the finish. They brought the heat. You guys were well focused. You playing center back really had things under control. Talk about leading up to that game, what head coach Carmine Isacco had to say to your group to really contain players like Jessica Lisi, who will be joining us later, Oduro, on and on.
Oh, wow. Well, Carm, first of all, he is a savant when it comes to soccer, so...
Hold on. What word did you... Hold on. What word did you use? Savant?
He's a savant.
Oh, my goodness. I've heard a lot of words being described when talking about Carm, but a savant? I'm going to fall over my chair. Continue on, Olivia.
No, he just makes things really simple. He breaks it down and says, okay, this is how we want to defend, this is how we want to attack. When people get into these corners, this is what we're going to do. So you really have a game plan for every situation. And that's pretty much, he just made it as black and white as possible. And we tried to stick to that game plan. Well,
let's be honest, Olivia. I've watched a lot of Woodbridge Strikers games, a lot of your games down the stretch. And to be quite honest and blunt about it, I thought you guys were going to have a lot of difficulty going up against this scoring offensive machine in the Woodbridge Strikers. They put up big numbers all season long, and they're hard to contain. And they're well organized, they're compact, and they're very meticulous in the way they play. So to me, it had to be a group that you had there Saturday, which you guys were successful with, that was focused, each and every one of you, at your own job at hand.
Definitely. I would totally agree with that. Woodbridge they're a really good team. So we definitely had to, well, personally, I guess, speaking from center back's point of view, I knew the target players that they were trying to play through. So when the ball got to her, when the ball got to Christabel, or when it got to Alicia Mottershead, they were the number one people that we were looking to shut down. So we definitely needed layers of defense. I mean, they did break us down 100%. They got the first goal. And it's always difficult when you have that pressure, but we ended up getting a tying goal, and then I think our second wind started kicking in, and we were able to actually do a lot better at our possession game, which we prefer to play. So,
Olivia, talk about your goalkeeper. She was a beast. I mean, not only does she stand on her head all game long, but she also scores the winning goal. And it is just unbelievable the way she was focused throughout the whole game.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the better goalkeepers I've ever played back there with. Yeah, she's phenomenal. She's organized. I feel very confident when I'm back there with her. And so I know she just went back to school, so we wish her all the best there. And she's cool, calm, collected. She likes taking PKs too. So when it does come down to that, she knows that she can bet on herself to save at least one, and she wants to be in that lineup to take a PK as well. So when it comes down to her putting the game winner in, she loves that pressure.
Olivia, you used some words, cool, calm, and collective. I think of Sarah Wong. Sarah Wong, to me, displays all those qualities, goes about her business the right way, plays the game full out, and gives you everything she's got. Not flashy, but gets the job done.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I would say even, cool, calm, collected, but she's a firecracker, too. She is everyone on the field all at once. She's the first one to put pressure on their back line, it seems. So, yeah, she's really fit, and she definitely gets the job done. It doesn't have to be flashy, but yeah.
Olivia, let's talk about the women's division overall. It's great to win the League One Women's Cup over Woodbridge, but overall, let's look at the big picture. Let's look at how important this league is for the young ladies out there that want to go on to success, like we saw today, Canada beating Australia, down a player, a record goal by Janine Becky, 20 seconds in, an Olympic record, and also another record, I believe, for a red card. I think this is important that the league itself continues to grow, but you've been down south and you've seen the U.S. players. Are we doing what is right here in Ontario in League One for our players to get to where they're at?
I think it's a good avenue. We're doing as much as we can. So I know that there's like the Professional Women's League in the States, and I know that they don't take many international players down there. So of course we've had to come up with a league for girls like myself that just want to keep playing, and for the girls who come back from the States and need to stay fit. So we're doing everything that we can, and I think because it's still young, the league, it's just going to get better, and hopefully that does reflect, and we have the right people seeing the talent that's out there, and then perhaps some of those girls could be selected to definitely represent Canada, in any of the age groups.
Olivia, just before we let you go, talk a little bit very quickly about your journey. You went down south to play NCAA, then you went over to Scotland, if I'm not mistaken, and mentally, physically, it takes a toll on you. Was it all worth the ride, doing what you did, going down south and then playing in Europe to live a dream you wanted to live?
100%. I would do it again. Yeah, I loved it a lot. It's worth every second that you're out there. Every little bit of sweat and pain and agony, you fall in love with it.
And you mention all that, but in the background, a lot of times I remind people, players like yourself, I've had so many MLS players on my show, so many players from Europe and coaches, and I asked them, like I'm going to ask you, yes, it was worth it, like you just said, but behind the scenes, mom and dad filled that gas tank up. They got up early in the mornings to take you here, there, and everywhere without a word. And how important were they in your life?
Oh my gosh, like the biggest supporters I've ever had or ever will have, for sure. They're the first people to tell you, you've had a good game, even if you haven't had a good game. And then you start into that discussion. But yeah, no, it's amazing having their support.
And talk about some of the coaches that have been instrumental in your life to get where you're at. Because now you're an assistant coach at York University, so you wanted to get into this, trade, as they say, this profession. Who believed in you from the beginning all the way to the end to see you through NCAA and in playing Europe? Who believed in you?
Well, so I feel like I took my biggest steps. I played for the Markham Soccer Club at like U17 to U21, and my coach at that time was the biggest inspiration for me. And then when I came back, he actually got me into coaching as well. So I would say he was one of the biggest influences of my well-rounded soccer life, for sure. But then you meet people like Carm later on, and they influence you just as much. So it's just really nice because you can keep meeting new people that inspire you daily.
Olivia, we got 1 minute and 1 minute or less. You watched the game today, Canada victorious over Australia. I tweeted it out earlier today. It doesn't matter if they're down a player. It doesn't matter if they're down a goal, which they weren't. Canada always comes ready to play. They're fierce, they're focused, they're hungry. Do you believe this group has what it takes to get to the Final Four and maybe possibly win a gold medal?
I think so. I think we just need to minimize the mistakes and take more chances up at the top, for sure.
Outstanding. Olivia, congratulations on that cup win on the weekend. Continued success with York University as well. Looking for a long run there as well in Ontario and possible a national championship. Olivia, thanks again for making time.
Thank you so much for having me.